do it. Let's go! All right, ready to go?
Yeah, ready.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Sunday, October the 11th, 2020. And we're going to get right into talking about today's men's French Open, a Roland Garros final, and as well yesterday's women's final that involves Sofia Kenin and Iga Swiatek. If the internet or the phone that records us just automatically cuts out, so if you're watching this and it just stops, just hang tight, go back to our channel, I guess, however it works, and refresh it, and we'll get another one started. We have found that it cuts out not because of the internet, but because of my phone that is used to record this show. So, Carla, you ready to get started?
Yeah, definitely.
I know she's really excited about Nadal winning today, so we'll get into that. Let's get it started.
I think that because I got the Rafa shoes, he won.
Because of the shoes?
I've never worn one of his shoes before.
You got them now.
So I got them like a few days ago, right? Actually, no longer, but I didn't wear them. So I wore them yesterday. I think he won because of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had something to do with it.
What's up, Wildlife? Alex Couillard, Hitchhiker, Ethan DA.
Let's go, come on.
B-Dog. Oh my God, the beatdown was epic. Vamos, Carla.
Let's go.
Before we start, I mean, there's, don't forget to hit the likes. I think you guys did already. There's like 8 likes. There's only 7 people. Some people might be sleeping. Some of those Novak fans probably cried themselves to sleep today.
I think it's very possible. It is very possible.
I know Stefan sent me a message before the match started. He said that all the bars, restaurants were full in Belgrade, Serbia, and that they were watching their boy, Novak, but he didn't perform as good today.
I felt like he didn't really, meaning Djokovic, I feel like he didn't really even show up.
Well, we'll talk about that. But before we do that, what's up, Sandy Mitchell and Amor Joker? He says Nadal was a beast today, totally deserved it, but don't forget, as Rafa said himself, Nole already killed him in Australia. Yeah, I feel like they got their revenge. You know, he got his revenge back. You know, that's what I said earlier, I think.
Djokovic took 8 games from Nadal at the 2019 Australian Open in the final, and Nadal gave up 7 games
The
today.
bagel hurt, though, more than how badly Nadal got beat down at the Australian Open. That bagel hurts for anybody. I've never been bagel before in my life.
Really?
No.
I've bageled you before.
When did you bagel me?
I bageled you before playing a set when there was people watching.
What?
I beat you 6-0 one day.
Oh my! When did you?
How do you forget things like this?
When people were watching.
I'm not even gonna get into it.
I've never been bageled.
I bageled her. I
First
bageled
of all,
her.
I bageled you many times and
I bageled you many times.
I am. You're Sharapova. I'm Serena. Don't forget that.
Well,
Anyways, before we go there, let me thank a few people. What's up, David Vulovic? Let me thank, first of all, Wayne Chia. Wayne Chia was very happy. He's probably sleeping right now. Thank you for donating. He was so happy that he donated to the channel. He said he wanted to spread his joy because his boy won. Hey, that's good for me. Hey, you want to donate? Cool. I mean, great.
Wayne Chia is in Singapore, and he is one of the most devout tennis fans you will ever meet. Travels the world with his mother, respectively, and donated to the channel today.
Thank you very much, Wayne Chia.
Yeah.
Also, I want to thank a few guys out there that message me every single day. B-Dog, Wildlife, Stefan, Wayne Chia, Wildlife, Michael Walker, Rahesh, and Ethan, and Hitchhiker. They message me every day.
Yeah, they really do. I think that they talk to you more than I talk to you in a positive way. There's multiple links to get in communication with us in the comment section or the description of the video field. I think what's there, Facebook, Instagram, some other stuff, and those people that she mentioned are always communicating. Today we were teaching lessons for the majority of the day, and the lot of them, all of the people that aforementioned, were updating scores continuously. Another shout out to Cam Williams out there, by the way. If you don't know who Cam Williams is, he does live commentary. He's in Australia, does a really good job, and he helps us get through those days where we can't watch matches where we're teaching. So big shout out to him as well.
Big shout out to him because we were actually teaching. Justin and I watched the first 2 sets. We watched the bagel happen. I think B-Dog, you and I, we were all talking at the same time or chatting at the same time. I think I told B-Dog when it was like 4-0, I don't think that I would let Djokovic waste that much. I wouldn't spend that much energy on a match. Maybe win your serves and just move on and, recoup again the second set. And then we saw the second set kind of go by 6-2 and we had to go teach. So we listened to Cam Williams' show while we were teaching, and he got another fan because our tennis student was loving it and her mom.
Absolutely.
They thought it was very fun to listen to this. So, I mean, we have fun listening to his thing.
Yeah, had a great day today. Anyway, please like and subscribe to the channel. Again, we've looked at our analytics, and it's only something like 93%, 93% of the people that watch these shows, and sometimes it gets into the thousands, and 93% are not subscribed. So subscribe. It can't hurt you too much to hit a button. And it won't bother you ever again, even if you hate us. But
hello, Oliver. He said, I wish I could have watched more live streams. I have school. How old are you, Oliver? Cam wakes up so early to comment on matches. Yes. They said, how come you're not watching the Lakers game? Layla says. Well, I love the Lakers, by the way, just because of one dude.
Look, Lakers are up 3-2, and this is something on my mind keenly. The series should have been over the last game, and we won't get into that here. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing if they close it out tonight.
There's a few comments for you.
Roll it up.
I'll start with Michael Walker said, where is he? Yes, Nadal, vamos. How does biased Justin feel?
Who said that?
Michael Walker.
Michael Walker, much love to you, by the way. And for anyone that doesn't know Michael Walker, he is a really really good tennis mind that spans generations. He doesn't just know the now; he knows generations before now. The entire anti-Nadal take that I do on this show has nothing to do with him as a person. It has to do with this person. When Roger Federer was just coming out of juniors and just started playing, I took a liking to Roger Federer because of his one-handed backhand. If you watch the show for a couple years, you know I can't stand anyone that has 2 hands on a backhand if they're male. And Carla used to throw Federer under the bus all the time, even prior to Nadal jumping on the scene. And then all of a sudden, when Federer starts losing to Nadal, she would start waking me up in the middle of the night. She would start trash talking. Even her brother and a couple of their friends would, Cesc Lopez, you remember Cesc? Mm-hmm. They would always talk about how Roger Federer cries so much. So I was the victim of being a Roger Federer fan 10, 12 years ago. And because of that, I began to always give her grief about Nadal up until this point. Now, today during the match, I will say that not only did the better player win today, but the more interested player in the match won today. It seemed like to me that Djokovic was never really that into it. If you look at him, if you looked at him receiving serve, generally he's kind of down and he's kind of set. He just looked very zombie-ish. He looked very Venus Williams-ish. He looked very much dead-ish. His complexion for his skin looked very flushed. He looked very quiet. He didn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? He didn't look very good.
I'm a Nadal fan, okay, and I'm gonna read a viewer's comment, and I have to agree with him. But he predicted that Nadal would win, even won some money because he followed your advice.
Let's go.
He took Nadal, even though he's a big Djokovic fan.
So you're telling me I was the culprit for someone putting money on a tennis match and I helped them?
Yes.
Come on.
Plus he won. He won the fantasy group, and I already sent him his payment.
Oh, let me give him a shout out for that. Viruselis, we do a fantasy team. I'm not going to get into that here. There was 2 winners. One was Carlo won it and tied for first place with Viruselis, who's in Germany. So he decided to take the $20 US, and you already sent that to him, right?
I already did.
So he already has 20. The other winner was Team Groves. I think Team Groves has showed interest in a couple of sets of strings from one of our sponsors, and that's Swiatek strings. So Team Groves, if you're out there, if you want the 2 sets of strings, please contact us. I will send them to you wherever you are internationally.
Oh, don't say who.
No problem. But if you want the cash, just let us know. We'll send it to you as well.
Well, let me talk about the match. Again, I'm a big Nadal fan. bad. But I can tell you something. Watching Djokovic, my dad called me, and, to give me his analysis of the match, and I have to agree with him in a lot. Djokovic to me didn't look like your normal Djokovic, and I'm not making excuses for him. He didn't seem as, usually you watch Djokovic play every point, his eyes are so focused. It's like nothing can bother him. You can see his eyes almost pop out. And I didn't notice that in this match. He tried a lot of his drop shots, which I thought was very stupid. Usually you throw in a drop shot by surprise, and he did it too many times. And obviously Nadal knew that was his plan. He looked very tired. He was mishitting his shots. His serve was shit today. I mean, he just didn't have that bite that he normally, has in him. I watched the first two sets just go by him like nothing. In third set, I still didn't believe he could come back. I listened to it on Cam Williams' show, but I rewound the whole match and I watched the whole third set just to see what happened. And he definitely was not the Novak that we are normally seeing. He missed a lot of his typical forehands that he made. Nadal was hitting his backhand when most of the time when they play against each other, Nadal ends up slicing most of his backhand. Nadal barely sliced today. Just some of where he was standing in the court, a lot of time he was standing in no man's land, which I thought was a big mistake. He just seemed very tired, like something was bugging him. And I think from watching him that there's something hurting him. We don't know what. He doesn't want to say it maybe. But that wasn't Novak to me. That was a different player. I think Tsitsipas took a lot out of him. And he wasn't ready for... Nadal played well. He played excellent. But it wasn't the best match I've ever seen him play.
We talked about yesterday on the show that if we are a betting person, and I hate to keep bringing betting up, but look, betting is fun. It's not fun to lose your house, but betting can be fun. It can be intense. But we talked about if a racehorse, that was the metaphor, if you were betting on a racehorse or two racehorses or a horse race, and the horse that you were betting on or wanted to bet on just ran 27 extra miles the day before or 2 days before, would you still be interested in betting on that horse? I think the consensus is obviously no-brainer is no, I wouldn't bet on the horse. Neither here nor there, but when Djokovic came out today, even during the warm-ups that we watched, the first two sets that we watched, he didn't look very interested in the match. Now, I'm not buying excuses for him, but I will say that Nadal did not play the best tennis that I've ever seen him play. I think the best tennis I've ever seen Nadal play was like in the 2008 Wimbledon final against Roger, or a lot of the other finals, or a lot of other matches that we have seen heretofore. Do you really think that Nadal played his best tennis today that you've seen? And you followed Nadal.
I know a lot of you guys think he made it look that good. Yeah, he was hitting deeper. My dad said, why was Nadal bitching about the balls when it helped his game? He was actually hitting the ball deeper. He did everything better than Novak. For you guys who said that Tsitsipas took a lot out of him in the match, yeah, but that's Novak's fault. He had match point. He should have finished that match in 3 sets. That is his fault. I think this will hurt him a little bit moving forward because players are starting to figure him out. Not so much Nadal because they've played so many times. I'm talking about the other players. They're starting to figure him out. But I'm going to read a comment about one of the viewers that won on the fantasy group. And it's kind of long, but I'm going to read it anyways.
That's okay. While she gets to that comment, Carla mentioned just a moment ago that Nadal wasn't slicing as much as he has in prior encounters with Novak Djokovic. Let me explain this just real quickly. Number one, you slice generally if you're playing defense, if you're retrieving the ball, if it's getting by you and you don't want it to get much further by you. You still want to try to catch it a little early. It's beside you. You go ahead and hack it down into the court. Djokovic wasn't hitting as deep as he normally hits. Not only was he not there, but he had unforced errors everywhere. His first serve percentage was abhorrent. And he wasn't hitting the ball deep into the court, which allowed Nadal not to have to slice it so much and to come over the ball and take the ball early, right? Mm-hmm. So let me just get that out of the way. It's not that Nadal just chose not to slice. It's just that the ball wasn't as deep in the court as it normally is. Right. Fair enough?
As far as your comment, Oliver, Nadal was lucky he played a tired Schwartzman and didn't play Thiem. Come on, guys. Let's use our brains here. Do you think that Nadal actually wanted to play Djokovic at the Rome Open in the final?
Or that he cared?
Come on, man. You got to use your brain here. You don't show all your goodies like you don't show all your goodies to a guy in the beginning. Come on.
What are you talking about? Goodies to a guy.
I'm just
Can
saying.
you explain that?
Even Schwartzman said,
Whoa.
You don't show your weapons. You just don't. You got to be a smart player. He knew that he could probably, most likely, would face Djokovic in the final. He beat Schwartzman down like nothing. Do you really think that he played Schwartzman in the semifinal like he did at Rome? No.
You just said you never show your goodies to a guy. Can you define that? What does that mean? Does that mean that you meet a girl?
Don't sleep with a guy
on the first date?
Yeah, don't.
Okay, so you don't take your pants off on the first date is what you meant.
Exactly. You don't show your weapons. Of course he let Schwartzman have that. Come on, guys, don't be stupid. He's not going to face Djokovic in a final and then go again to the French Open and face him in another final. You know, that's stupid. I mean, come on, that's just dumb, duh. And the other thing is Goran, I guess he had to swallow his words when he said about Novak looks focused. Nadal has no chance. He's so focused. He looks stupid today.
How would Nadal say that? You play unbelievable.
I play unbelievable.
I play unbelievable. I just play the best tennis and I play unbelievable today.
Anyways, let me read
this comment. Let's go. Take your time at closing it.
He made a prediction, but this is what he said after the match.
This is Virusellis.
Yes. He said, Okay, so he said, yes, before the match, I saw in the statistics, and during his matches, his backhand was not under his control. It was completely unreliable for offensive approaches and finishes down the line. He fired massive errors during his final matches. Did not like the error-prone play from Djokovic in the final. He sure should have done better, but got overwhelmed by Nadal's level of play. My theory is that Djokovic might carry his injuries under the radar. He tried to hide them as long as possible, but his shoulder or arm problem could be one from long ago. Last season or so, and now it came back, and medicine did not help it this time. The reasons he does not want to talk about it further could be to remain competitive on this tour as long as possible and surprise his opponents by having that uncertainty about him, the X factor. The way Djokovic was always missing slightly a few inches behind the line says to me that the fine-tuning was not on point. Nadal ruled Djokovic once again with his superior control aggression. Djokovic needs his A game with his ground strokes, otherwise he is lost. Nadal beat him practically everywhere today, on the serve, on the return, on the net, had impressive answers to every drop shot. Even if Djokovic would have been more consistent with his proper game, I doubted that he would have left the court as the winner against this peak Nadal. But sure, he could have taken him to the fifth set somehow by clinching a tiebreak or so, similar to the 2013 semifinal. Even if Djokovic would have won today's third set somehow, we all know it would have been another beatdown in the fourth set, like 6-1 or so. As Novak's fan, a straight set loss is definitely easier for me to digest than a tough 5-set battle, because there was little hope once the match unfolded to what it became. But I must admit, I expected Nadal to win, but not to play the way he played. His best match of the year by far. Incredible performance. Question marks behind Djokovic for future major tournaments after he lost 2 opportunities now to get another one. He now fell 3 behind Roger and Rafa. He's under pressure and needs to win the Australian Open if he wants to remain his chances for reaching 20 as well. Otherwise, I think he might be out of that competition. Depend on how long his body can keep intact for the way he wants to play, because mentally, he would beat the younger ones without a question, even after Roger and Rafa are done. I really hope the major injuries won't come across and he gets a similar longevity as Federer, which was impressive. I want Novak to win at least one more Australian, definitely one more US Open. And the French would be still the icing on the cake. But after this huge chance gone, I doubt that Novak will ever win one more. TM and Tsitsipas will be around. He has enough Wimbledons, but another one would be welcoming as well. So everything counted, I would love to see him winning at least 3 more, and therefore 20. Thank you guys for the great show and always making me smile.
Okay, so a really good comment. Again, what I gathered today, and we woke up very early as usual, and we watched the first 2 sets. We went out to the courts, we taught our lessons, and Cam Williams got us through the 3rd set. We came back, broke for lunch, went back out, then came back home and watched the 3rd set on our own. I never saw Novak Djokovic, in my opinion, show up. I'm not taking up for him. I am slightly biased simply because of the house divided. Again, in Federer's prime, playing Djokovic, go Federer. I'm just telling you that. People say, "Oh, I'm a Federer hater now." The fact is that athletes come and go. Whether you're Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, even though he just won the Masters not long ago, whatever. The people come and go. Usain Bolt, whatever. They come and go. Just because you understand the athletes have come and gone, and now you are, watching the next person come up, doesn't mean that you don't like the athlete anymore. It's just that you understand that they've come and gone. But I didn't see that today from Novak Djokovic. I didn't see that he had come and gone. I just saw that it looked like from the time that he walked on the court, he seemed a little bit disinterested. Okay. Roger Federer, by the way, huge fan, always have been, have his name tattooed on my back or his initials this big. I think he is done. So let's take him out of the equation. Yes, he'll play another tournament. Yes, he'll play 2021. And yes, he'll make the last two draw and play the Olympics. But you have to be naive to think that Roger Federer is going to win another major. So let's slide him out of it. Roger Federer's done at 20. That leaves Nadal and Djokovic at 20 and 17 respectively. Now, Nadal is still young. What is he, 33, 34? Mm-hmm. He's going to win another French Open or two. You understand that. He's going to, unless, he gets injured, something happens, a preemptive retirement, whatever. He's going to win another French Open or two at minimum. So let's give him 22. And maybe we can just stop it at 20 and just say stop it there. But let's just give Nadal 21 or 22. Let's just give him 21. One more French. Is that too hard to ask for? Okay. So that means Djokovic has to win 4 more. Djokovic has been dialed in at the Australian Open. What has he won, 8 of them? Mm-hmm. Now, by the way, let me mention a fun fact real quick. Let me mention a fun fact that I wrote in here. Let's take the big 3. Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and Rafael Nadal. And let's take away the majors that they have won at their favorite event, and let's tally up the total. So Roger Federer, his best major is Wimbledon. He's won 8 of them. He's won 20 majors, so 20 minus 8 is 12, correct? Elementary mathematics? Okay. Novak Djokovic has won 17 majors, has won 8 Australian Opens. If you take away the Australian Opens, that leaves him with 9. Now, Rafael Nadal has won 20 majors, take away the 13 French, and that leaves him with 7. Does this change anyone's mind about the level playing field across all surfaces? Does anyone think that Nadal, because of slam count alone, is going to be in history books, whether he breaks or not, one of the greatest of all time because he dominated one surface? Or do you think it's deserved more across the board of those who did more on alternative surfaces?
I think that's such a stupid.
You think it's a stupid stat?
It's a stupid thing. That's not their problem if they dominate in one.
Well,
Come on, Justin.
I didn't make that up. I read that.
I know,
today,
but we
like
talked,
5 times after
we
the
talked
match.
about that though. No one could beat him on clay. That's his surface. That's where he trained. Gosh, good for him. 13. That's more than 8 and 8.
All right. Some other statistics coming into this match. Head to head, Djokovic was up 29 to 26 on Nadal. 29 to 26. So
now it's 29 to 27.
29 to 27 now. This was written prior to. In major finals, Djokovic was up 15 to 11. Okay, quite a big number there, 15 to 11. However, head-to-head in finals, not in majors, but just in finals across the board. In major finals, though, Grand Slam finals, Rafael Nadal was up 9 to 6. And the French Open meetings, Rafael Nadal was up 6 to 1. And the U.S. Open, Rafael Nadal was up 2 to 1. And the Australian Open, Djokovic was up 2 to none. And at Wimbledon, Djokovic was up 2 to 1. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So Nadal did hold the edge and majors.
And it's closer.
Over.
The head-to-head now is closer. And I think this gives him confidence. I think Wayne Chia says this gives Nadal more confidence now playing Djokovic. I believe so. Because Djokovic was undefeated the whole year.
Well, he beat himself once.
But he was undefeated. I would count that as...
Yeah,
he was undefeated.
Yeah, he was undefeated until today.
Yeah. Alex Friar says, not Nadal's fault that he's the best on clay.
It's not.
Michael Walker, I agree with you 100%. Novak winning 3 next year, that's delusional for anyone in the mid-30s.
Yeah,
I'll agree with you. I think it's so stupid. He'll win Australian, and then he'll win Wimbledon. Let's not forget that TM took him to 5 sets at the Australian Open
this year.
Let's not freaking forget that. 5 sets from TM. Tsitsipas just took him 5 sets. What is that telling you guys? He's getting older. The younger guys are starting to figure it out, and it's about damn time.
Okay, let's look at Rafael Nadal's run to the final here. First round, Rafael Nadal had Igor Gerasimov. In the second round, Nadal had Mackenzie McDonald. In the third round, Nadal had Stefano Travaglia. In the fourth round, Nadal had Korda. In the quarterfinals, Nadal had Jannik Sinner, who Jannik Sinner, by the way,
played better than anyone.
Played a better match against
anyone.
Yeah, played a better match against Nadal than Djokovic did. Then in the semifinals, Nadal had Schwartzman, and that led us to today. Now, Djokovic's road began with Mikael Ymer, the young man from Sweden. Is he Swedish?
Swedish.
Then he played Berankis. Berankis was a solid junior, but has done nothing at the top pro level. Djokovic then had Galan. Then Djokovic had Karen Khachanov.
She rolled through.
Then Djokovic had Carreno Busta.
Which she should have rolled through.
Then Djokovic had Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Which he almost won in 3 sets. It's his fault.
So
his fault.
Djokovic and Nadal started with relatively straightforward draws. But
Nadal's opened more at the end.
Nadal's began to open up. Djokovic began to close down. But instead of having an easier time with Tsitsipas, now Djokovic again had a match point there in the third set. If that match point would have happened and he would have taken it, I think today's match would have been a little bit different. Not saying it would have been much different. Nadal, though, did not play his best tennis, in my opinion.
No.
I've seen him play way better from the days he was in Capri's with his long hair and his Nike bandana.
It just looked like Djokovic was tired.
He looked tired. He looked tired.
He didn't have that fight in him. I don't know. I mean, his stupid plan of the drop shots was dumb. Yes, Oliver, I agree with you. He's been through a lot, but that's his fault. And I'm sorry, I think he knew Nadal would be tough to beat. I figure it might go to 5 sets because of what happened at the U.S. Open. He just didn't have the energy.
So Rafael Nadal now is 100 wins to 2 losses at the French Open. Quite a wonderful feat. The Las Vegas odds, again, I think Vicerelis put money on Nadal and won. Prior to the match starting, the most recent Vegas odds were Nadal was minus 150. So you had to bet $150 to win 100. Djokovic, on the other hand, was plus 120, meaning if you bet $100 and you won the bet, you would win 120. So he took the gamble, Vicerelis, and obviously bet more than he thought he would lose, but nonetheless won the bet.
Do you think the U.S. Open final was better than the French?
No.
Both were bad.
No.
Both were bad.
Just because
the TM and Zverev were 2 little girls pushing back and forth, and again, it was whoever was nervous more.
Look,
finally, TM won what he deserved.
Forget about the score of the U.S. Open final or whatever.
5 sets because they were.
Forget about it.
Playing bad.
Look, if Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer or Novak Djokovic had been in the U.S. Open at that point in time. In other words, if the throat hack didn't happen, if Nadal chose to play, was Zverev still going to be in the final anyway?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So
no, that was not a great finals. Come on.
Yeah, regardless.
And the French was pretty straightforward. I mean, there was no fight in there. It wasn't a good one. The women's was better. The women's final was a lot better, even though the first set was competitive and the second set just kind of went away.
Yeah.
But the French Open was not the best slam this year. It just wasn't. Not as far as so much excitement. I mean, we got to see Sinner play, but was it that exciting?
I think.
I thought the women's U.S. Open was exciting.
And I think the women's French Open was exciting.
It was a lot more exciting. So the women's game is much better right now.
I would agree with that.
Than the men's. I'm sorry. The men's U.S. Open to me put me to sleep. It really put me to sleep.
Even the final was lackluster, but because there was so much build up to the match, I think it made it a little exciting, but the entire men's draw all the way through, and then especially after the final today, I think you have to look at the women's side and look at someone like Swiatek and say, okay, here's some hope, here's some promise. The men, though, the big three are on a decline. I don't care if it's Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, whatever. I mean, there's only so long.
There's only so much they can play. They're getting tired.
There's only so much you can do.
I mean, you know, there's only so much. Eventually, the people that were supposed to take over are gonna take over. You know, in their mid-20s. But let's talk about the women's.
All right, we're gonna jump to the women's. However, I wrote a couple of pages of just nuggets as
read them. And as far as the matches later on that a lot of people are not playing, why would you want to, like Nadal? Why would you want to play another tournament this year? Why would Djokovic play another tournament this year? Go back, you know, if you're injured, take a break, practice. But why waste your time with the rest of the tournament? Let those young guys that haven't won titles play. I wouldn't touch these tournaments.
Why?
Honestly, why would you?
No fans, unless you just need the prize money, which is pretty much predominantly any player on tour outside of the top 10. All right, a couple nuggets that I wrote down, and then we'll shift to the women's. The first nugget I wrote down was just a couple of shows ago, Carla and I were talking about Rafael Nadal wearing his $1 million watch. Now, not too long after that show, we read maybe, 20 articles, whether it was on the internet, the newspaper, in a sports journal, whatever, about the absolute ridiculousness of someone wearing a $1.2 million watch on court. I just want to say this, that either number one, someone watched our show and wrote about it, or, you know, we need to be in the mix. However, here's some stats on that watch. The watch has no diamonds. It only weighs 1 ounce, and has made him nothing special. Only 50, is that how you say 50? Mm-hmm. There was 50 of these watches made. For some odd reason, Richard Mills decided to sell them for $1.2 million. And Nadal won one on the court. So just because so many people hated on me for bringing that up, go hate on the 50 other writers international that hated on him for the same thing. Number one. First thing I wrote, though, before the match even started, I wrote here, Djokovic just kind of walked on the court, walking around aimlessly. Okay? You know, Nadal comes on the court, you know, vamos, and jumping up, bonks. You remember when Nadal came on the court during that U.S. Open? And he was jumping up and down the hallway and banged his head onto the top of the ceiling. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. You know, he's doing his normal jumping around thing, and Djokovic just kind of comes out, you know, and I'm like, geez, you know, they haven't even started warming up yet, but he just looks like, you know, maybe something's wrong.
He looked flat.
Something looked wrong, you know, his skin looked a little flush, you know, he kept holding his non-playing hand, so, you know, he's a right-handed player, but he was holding his left hand kind of low, almost like maybe his left shoulder or elbow was gimpy. I don't know, he was just holding it down. When he would sit down in between warming up and starting the match, he would be sitting there, his left arm, look, if something hurts, you know, we don't just sit up tall and proud or like, let's go, you know, sometimes we might just be a little gimpy on it. And did you sense some of that? You know, kind of holding the shoulder down a little bit?
I did, but credit to Nadal, like Ethan's comment, I think Nadal did something better than playing his best. He changed his approach, he amped up his aggression. The net clearance on his backhand was far lower than usual compared to Novak and Roger.
And Nadal hit much deeper in the court.
It was much deeper, so I think the balls actually helped him.
No, I wrote here, Nadal came out and broke Djokovic in the first game of the first set, then jumps out to a 2-0 early lead, and then goes up a double break 3-0 in the beginning of the first set. So if you go up 3-0 on clay to Nadal, I think you even said it, I think you said it during the match, I think you said something along the lines of maybe Novak should just let the set go. Mm-hmm. I think I remember you saying exactly that. Many a times, by the way, and I wrote this next, many a times in my life I've played 5 sets or more in a day. 5-set matches, 3 of 5, went 5, or played, you know, multiple sets practicing throughout the day. It doesn't matter if I was 18 or 32 or 42 now, right? If you play 5 sets in a day, it is very difficult to recover 100% within the next day or two, right? And even the 3 days on, something might be bothering you. You might have a little blister on the foot, a blister on the hand, a slightly tweaked ankle, a little bit of a weak shoulder, whatever. So when Tsitsipas took Djokovic 5 sets, it's not a matter of fiction, it's a matter of fact that negatively affected him coming in to this tournament. So for all of you that understand that I wanted Djokovic to win this, why am I not upset that he didn't? It's just because, number one, we talked about betting on a racehorse that had ran more miles than the favorite in the next race. He looked disinterested, so the more positive player in this match won.
52 unforced errors.
52 unforced errors, a crazy number.
Compared to 14.
And it was straight sets. 52 unforced errors is something that you see in maybe deep in the 5th set or something, but 52 unforced errors in 3 sets, He was getting to the ball slowly. He wasn't in it. He wasn't there. 52 and
At
4
least he
errors.
shouldn't feel bad that he got bagel because Federer got bagel too in a final French Open by Nadal. They both got bagel.
Can anyone name the year that Rafael Nadal bageled Roger Federer in the third set? It was a straight
It was
set.
worse.
What
It was worse.
was it 2008? It was like 6-3, 6-1, 6-0, or 6-1, 6-3, 6-0.
It was so fast.
It was
2008 French Open.
absolutely a bad deal.
Yeah.
By the way, Novak Djokovic set his own record today. He was dealt his first bagel in a set against him ever in a major.
Bravo.
All right.
I mean, that's hard. I mean, most people do get bagel, you know? Has Nadal ever been bagel?
I'm sure he has.
I'm sure, too.
This Nadal surely has been bageled.
Yeah.
A bit of payback from the Australian Open last year. Let's look at it. Djokovic beat Nadal in the 2019 Australian Open 6-3, 6-2, 6-3. That's 8 games. Nadal won today 6-0, 6-2, 7-5. That's 7 games,
Nadal
right?
has never been bageled. Let's go, Nadal.
Now, something else I thought that was interesting is after Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal played today, Novak Djokovic made a statement to the media about his and Rafael Nadal's rivalry. He made a statement that basically was this, quote unquote, this is Djokovic speaking, you know, Rafael Nadal and I have the greatest rivalry in tennis, and we've played more times than anyone else in all of tennis history. Something like that. Enough said. Well, immediately, someone jumps in and absolutely just takes him to school on this, what do you call that? On this boasting, I guess you could say. Chris Evert. Can you imagine Chris Evert coming out and swinging ahead at anybody? Can you imagine that?
Yes, I can.
Yeah,
yes,
you can imagine,
she's
right?
Bitchy. Yeah.
So snooty Chris Evert comes out and as soon as she hears this, makes it a point to say that, you know, Novak Djokovic stated that he and Rafael Nadal's head-to-head rivalry was the greatest and the most prolific in all of tennis history. She made a point to say that Martina Navratilova and herself, Chris Evert, played 80 times. That is 80.
Wow.
80 times, and not 29 and 27, which would be 50.
Yeah, it's much more. It's much more.
Okay, so not only did she make a point to call him out for bullshit, she said that, you know, if you knew more of tennis history and not just the man's side, which is a sexist comment, just saying, Martina and I played 80 times, and I won 18 majors, and she won 18 majors, which is one more than you.
Poor Nole. Like, really?
Damn.
He probably didn't know that because they're so old.
He didn't study the women's history. He didn't study the women's history.
He said, you know, that was not incredible.
I didn't play incredible. I didn't do that incredible.
Poor Novak.
Yeah.
First he gets his ass beat, and now Chris Evert has to tell him. Tell him how it is.
Yeah, you know, there's an old saying is never let the cat out of the bag, because it's a whole lot easier letting the cat out of the bag than it is to put it back in.
Everett spoke the truth today. Laugh out loud.
Or
and you know what's funny? That I think that Novak says that one of his greatest rivalries is Nadal, and Nadal doesn't say the same.
Yeah, he doesn't. He says Federer.
No, he doesn't say anything.
He always says Federer is his best rivalry, even though he owns Federer on the head-to-head, and it's opposite with Djokovic.
Well, I'm glad the head-to-head got closer. You know what I mean? It's only 2 away now.
All right. Well, congratulations, Chris Evert, for jumping out with an immediately kind of very biased comment. But she is telling the truth. But I think what Djokovic meant to say was on the men's side. At least I hope so. Because
I'm sure he wasn't thinking after a loss, gee, you're disappointed. You know, you got to give him a break for that. She didn't have to be so bitchy.
Anyway.
You could have just sent him a message and say, hey, buddy, you know, not instead of putting it out there like
that. You didn't have to call him out like that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to call him out like that. But Chris Evert did.
Oliver said, in my opinion, Chris Evert was better than Navratilova. Didn't you say you're 14?
Well, look, I've heard other people over the past 37 years, old enough to remember 42, but 37 is I've heard people say that before.
No, I have to disagree.
It differed on clay, though, right?
She won on clay.
That's what I'm saying.
How many Michael Walker? How many did ever win on clay? I know it's a lot.
Well, okay, so you think Nadal's the greatest of all time, even though he's won.
No, I don't think he's the greatest of all time.
Well, he's nearing that mean.
He's got 20, but I don't think he's the greatest of all time.
Because what? It's mostly on clay?
No, because I think you got to look. I mean, if we look at the slams, right? He's tied with Federer. I think the most complete player to me is still Novak.
As of right now, yes.
To me, the most complete package is Novak.
Now, Djokovic, by the looks of him today, does need to put on a little bit of weight. I'm not saying a lot. I'm not saying but maybe 5 or 6 pounds. We don't want to get a beer belly, some gut or whatever. But he looks a little thin. I think maybe the veganism is hurting him a little bit. Look, I'm no dietitian at all. But if you want to step on the court and have a chance in a dirt balling environment such as clay or the Roland Garros or French Open, it's really hard to get by on plants all the time. It just is. Maybe it's not healthy. Maybe longevity will be
maybe he's doing the
questionable.
wrong type of plant.
But it's just not.
I think you need something more. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great diet, but I feel like at such a high level.
I mean, it's hands down great for longevity. It's hands down great for steering off cancers or free radicals or other things that can cause us to have preemptive death. But
well, like I said, Novak and his wife are on the supermodel diet.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he looked very flushed.
Flush, skinny.
And even his wife, like, it was like, please, here's a Whopper, just eat it.
Like, let me bring you to my house for Thanksgiving. Let me just feed you. But yeah, we've talked about the wife before looking incredibly skinny. Djokovic again has been more and more over the years coming out.
He needs tacos.
Needs tacos.
By the way, we went to a Mexican restaurant and their tacos suck.
Oh, they suck.
Man. I was like, what the hell is this shit? I've never seen tacos like that in my life.
They were awful.
I mean, they were Americanized tacos.
Shoot, they were like.
He called the manager. He asked the guy, "Would you feed this to your kids?" And he was like, and
Yeah.
he was Mexican.
Yeah. Well,
He asked the waitress, "Would you feed this to your kids?"
Well,
and she was like, "No."
We had a restaurant for a while. We did very great tacos. But I had when you're taking 5 kids or 4 kids out to eat in ours, and you know you're gonna get a $200 bill, and you get a plate of tacos, and it looks like raisinets with raisins dumped in the tacos, and then
they did it with carne asada, and the meat was like tips, like that small, and they put a little bit of onion, no cilantro, no avocado, there was no tomato on it. I mean, even if you're gonna Americanize it, even put sour cream, which I hate. And then it was just like, and then they brought me this
styrofoam cup
with this bean thing. I'm like looking at it with a burnt jalapeno. I'm like, what the frick is this?
No, look, I ordered something by the picture. So I looked at the picture and I was like, okay, carne asada tacos with the pico de gallo and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll get that. We used to serve that. It came out. It wasn't even the same plate. It wasn't even the same picture. I had a styrofoam cup. So I got the dish and look, I was paying.
Call the manager.
I was paying $15.75 for a plate of 3 tacos. And
5 tacos.
5 tacos.
But they look like 2 tacos because if you put the amount of meat they had, you could have crunched them up to maybe 1 taco.
So I was really nice. I was really nice. We had a restaurant and believe me, it's a very tough business. But all I did was politely, I asked the waitress and I gave her $20. I gave the waitress $20 when she walked up. I was like, can you get your manager? But believe me, it's not about you. You're awesome. I gave her a $20 bill and she hadn't even finished serving yet. I was like, this is not you. So I brought the manager over. I sat him down. I was like, yeah, come take a seat. And I was like, by the way, here's my plate. Let me put it down in front of you. And before I even mentioned anything, he was like, ooh. He was like, ugh.
This shit, it was called menudo. And it
Holy
was like
shit.
beans, but it looked like something you would get
in
jail. At jail.
I was in jail, so don't tell me that.
Well,
I can speak for jail.
The kid said, Mom, we get this at school, but even the school stuff looks better.
Holy cow. It looked like an old thing of lime. Anyway, we're getting into food. And
so the Lakers are doing great, by the way. Michael Walker, I agree with you. I mean, I think Navratilova is way better than ever, in my opinion.
I agree, too.
I mean, Ever was out first, and then came Navratilova.
Hands down. Totally agree.
She dominated.
1,000%.
Yeah, I think the 14-year-old needs to go back and look at the match.
All right, before we switch over to the women's, which I am really excited about. Honestly, I'm more excited to talk about the women's than I was of the men's, honestly. The entire men's draw was lackluster. We got to an epic final, supposedly, and it was even more lackluster. I mean, we can beat a dead horse if you want and talk more about it. But if there's anything else you want to say, comments, takes, let's get it done now because I'm more excited about the women's.
Adam Scudero said, what do you prefer, serve and volley player or a grinder at the baseline?
Serve and volleyer.
He does, but it's hard to serve and volley.
Serve and volley. I served and volleyed my way today to a 6-1 win.
Stop. Mary Michael. did you allow this man to
go.
beat you?
Let's go.
Come on, girl. You have such a great game to let this old man beat you today.
Let's go.
She was tired.
Look at that wasp right there.
She was tired today.
Yeah, so
I prefer someone that has an old court, not just serving volley because you need it all. Like, I don't like those big servers like Opelka, like boom boom. It's like, it's boring.
Because if you
I want
block
to see everything.
if you block it back and get it in, it's now a neutral point. There's no tactics necessarily behind it. It's a big serve. If you get it in, we're in a neutral playing field. And that's why the likes of Isner, Opelkas, Karlovic's, and everyone else have never won a major. Because if you guess right, you're in business.
I like Serena's game. Yes, Alex. Vanch Agarwal said Djokovic's demeanor was so odd as if he didn't care today. No hunger in his eyes, no fight.
Who said that?
We said that earlier.
Who said that? Who said that?
His name is Vanch Agarwal. We said that earlier.
Agree totally. I agree totally. That is the reason why I'm really not that interested in breaking down the men's match. Because I wrote on the first page of 7 pages of material that before they even started, it looked like something was either hurting Novak or it looked like something was on his mind, maybe off the court, something at home, whatever. Something was bothering him, and that's it. And hence the results.
Michael Walker, you went to Serbia too? Lucky you, dude.
Let's go.
So Michael Walker, you're single, no kids, so you get to travel a lot. What did you eat in Serbia that was good?
Why don't you come visit us, bro?
Yeah.
Come on, we got room.
He said it was so unlike Novak, possibly injured, he gave up, but never called a trainer. Could be.
I don't think Novak Djokovic probably knew that he could not call a trainer today. Mm-hmm. Why would he look, if he called a trainer today against Rafael Nadal, where he's won 12 times, how much of a schmuck would he look like?
There are people with him.
People would be all over him if he would have called a trainer against Rafael Nadal. I get it, he can do it against anybody else. But if you're calling a trainer against Rafael Nadal and then you lose on top of that, dude, you look really jacked up. It was very smart of him not to employ that tactic today. Yeah, do you agree or disagree? He would look like an idiot if he would have called a trainer today. Because he didn't put enough effort in because of XYZ variables outside the court or before the match or still left over from the Tsitsipas match, whatever. He didn't put enough effort in to call a trainer. If he would have done that, he would have been written off by a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless those that are, just his only fans.
All right, let's go on to the women's.
All right, Iga Swiatek. Let's talk about her for a minute. So Iga Swiatek is the 19-year-old young lady from Poland that won the French Open. Iga Swiatek, I'm sure you all know this by now, but when Carl and I first started following Iga Swiatek,
we talked about her last year.
Last year a lot, and there's also another person from Poland here that has won our fantasy team and prize giveaway multiple occasions, and his screen name is Dedseville, but his name is Kasper, and he's a really good tennis player from Poland, and he is who brought Swiatek to our attention a couple of years ago. She's not the thickest girl, she's not built like Carla. She's 5'8", 5'9", something like that. I think she's 5'8", 5'9".
But she's lengthy. She has a long arm reach. Her legs are long.
She's got a lot of reach. She has a lot of heart. She's not, again, some, racehorse like Carla with these absolutely big-ass calves and monstrous quads. She's kind of lean. She's kind of a mixture between Ivanovic and Wozniacki and Razwanska. Some of these other what you would think would be defensive playing girls. However, Swiatek is very good at taking the ball early. She takes the ball early on the rise a lot, if not always on the rise. And anytime she gets a chance to take it early, she takes it. Number 2, she has very effortless transitions from one side of the court to the other, or whether it's going to the forehand side or to the backhand side. She pivots and turns very well, okay? So if you look at this match, it was not only the match that we need to look at, it was her entire run-up through the final. Let's look at that real quick. Swiatek's run to the final was this. Swiatek in the first round played Vondrousova. Very talented player. Didn't
Vondrousova made the finals last year against Barty.
Second round, Swiatek plays Swiatek. Solid player. You look, Swiatek can beat anybody on any day. Maybe not consistently, but she can do it. Mm-hmm. And the third round, she took out Eugenie Bouchard. Everybody's laughing at that. I'm kind of too. But don't forget, Eugenie Bouchard made what, the 2014 or 17 Wimbledon final? Anyway, the years run together. Then Swiatek took on Simona Halep in the 4th round.
And she got her payback because Simona Halep beat her last year.
Following that, Swiatek took out the Italian girl Trevisan. I didn't know much about her prior to the match, and then took out
Podoroska was a joke.
You know, do you think you're going to see Podoroska again this deep in a major?
No.
Do you honestly think
No.
that? And then, of course, took on Kenin in the final. Now let's look at Kenin's road to the final. Kenin's road to the final began with Samsonova. Second match was Bogdan. Third match was Barra. Fourth match was Faro. Her quarterfinal match was against Collins. Then
Collins fought back, but I think she got kind of injured.
Did she get bageled in the third set?
Yeah, she couldn't move or something herself.
And then had a semifinal against Kvitova.
That was a good match for her.
Good match, and here you have the final.
Look, I'm going to say something about Kenin. Get your dad out of the freaking picture. Get your dad out of the freaking box. That fat ass dude just sitting there yelling and, you know, making faces. It's annoying. It doesn't help her game. She doesn't need her dad there, just like Tsitsipas doesn't need his dad sitting there. They coached you. They got you there. It's time for another coach, just like Serena and Venus did. Their daddy got him there, and they had to move on to something else. If she wants to win more majors, which Kenin definitely can, okay, she won the Australian, she made the final of the French Open, same thing as Djokovic, she can win more slams, but she needs to get daddy out of the picture. She's freaking, what, 21? She doesn't need her dad there.
Can anybody, by the way, and I'm not going to allude to this, but can anyone discuss what's going on with Bianca Andreescu? Has she started to gain weight again? You know, she went through some weight struggles and was, you know, kind of chunky for a while, slimmed down. Is she going through weight issues? Is she going through injury issues? I don't know. I don't need to get into Andreescu. I just thought about that. But hopefully Ashley Barty, one of my favorites, isn't drinking too much beer. Again, chugging beer at any point in time during the prime of an athlete's life is not the smartest thing to do. Wait for retirement for that.
And as far as someone says Swiatek, same thing as Ostapenko, I don't see that happening. Swiatek had a good year last year. She had a good year. She had injuries. You know, at the age of 15, she stopped. You know, she had some serious injuries. This girl plays completely different from Ostapenko. I love her forehand, the way she turns and she snaps. You know, and I love that she's comfortable at the net. She's very good on clay. She can slide very well. She understands it. And she's aggressive, and that's what you need to be a champion, aggressive.
And her court conduct is very good. Now, during the Kenin match, I think there was about 7 or 8 racket tosses. I think 6 of them came from Kenin. Man, I might be exaggerating that by 1 or 2 numbers, but I'm fairly certain there was about 7 times where rackets left the girl's hands and got slung onto the ground or you know, off the court or on the court. But I think Swiatek had 1, and I think Kenin had the rest. Anyway, let's talk about where Swiatek comes from. Polish girl, lives there, trains there, born there. Good for her. She didn't flag flop like Osaka or a lot of these other players like Kenin, whatever. Won't get into that again. I might get my head torn off. Her father. Oh, by the way, Swiatek is only 3 months. That's 3 months out of high school. Mm-hmm. Think about that. We have students that we talk to all the time, like, you got to work hard now, and you got to work hard now, and you can't afford to take any breaks now. You can sleep when you die. You know, you come out and work now. This girl's 3 months out of high school and just won the French Open at the age of 19. Now, how old was Ostapenko when she won the French? Was she 18, 19, or was she 17? 19. Was Ostapenko 17 when she won the French? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Let's look at her mom and dad.
We didn't know. Actually, I tried to look up stuff about her mom.
I couldn't find any information.
It was all about her dad.
Generally, athletes of the highest level that win these majors come from a line of athletes. I couldn't find anything on the mother, and I looked extensively. But her father was an Olympic rower, like rowing, like boats. I don't know if it was, you know, the guys in the canoes on either side, or if it was, you know, the rowing on a team or what. But
Ostapenko was 19.
He was an Olympic rower in 1988 and won a medal in the Seoul Olympics in 1988. Swiatek, by the way, struggled with injuries as a junior. Okay, so she struggled with injuries as a junior. That kind of kept her out of the junior limelight, and she grew into what is now. Now, how many players do you know that do very well in the juniors but do nothing in the majors? A ton, right?
Many.
How many players do you know that have never play juniors, don't give a damn about them, and then jump into the thick of it and do very well.
Someone asked me here, Alex, will there ever be someone like Serena, like dominate? No.
Probably not.
No, we won't see a Federer, we won't see a Nadal, we won't see a Djokovic, and we definitely won't see a Serena nor a Venus again.
Now, do you think you will ever find someone in history that will win 13 French Opens?
Never.
I mean, that's a redunculous.
Even Chris Evers, French Opens, no one will touch.
Redunculous.
Yeah.
Now, look, someone may roll off 8 Wimbledons, and someone...
Sinner never played juniors.
That's another who said that.
And he's good.
Who said that?
That's Oliver.
Great knowledge drop
He will be a champion.
Some of the best players of all time, if you go back and look, did not play juniors. People get so set in the juniors and they're like, oh, I just won junior this, I just won junior that. I've been to 2 U.S. Opens and watched the boys final and girls finals in both of them. And both the girls finalists and winner and second place, and both years
Coco Gauff and Amanda Anisimova played each other at a U.S. Open final, like many years ago.
What have they done yet?
They're getting there.
They're getting there.
They're still young.
We were saying they were getting there 2 years ago.
They're still young. I think Anisimova, don't forget her father passed away. That's something tough to get through.
Much respect.
Don't forget that Coco Gauff is only 17 years old. I mean, she still has time. She's got time to improve a lot of things. I think she could be a Grand Slam champion, absolutely. Both of them can.
All right. Why did
16?
Why did Iga Swiatek want to learn to play tennis in the first place? She wanted to learn because her older sister played, and she had an older sister that was 3 years older, and her sister played, and she wanted to beat her sister. It reminds me of our youngest of 5 children, Justin Jr. Mm-hmm. He goes out on the court and wants to hit balls all the time simply because he wants to be able to hang out or to beat his older brothers and sisters.
And he tells some of our students,
I'll beat you.
I want to play you today.
I want to beat you. And he's 4.
So a lot of these guys are saying that Kenin could win more majors. Alex says one needs to improve her serve and forehand. Flora Moore says Swiatek reminds me a lot of Hingis, takes the ball early. Yes. Von Agarwal says I don't think anyone on the men's court will ever get 10 slams again. What's up, Cam? You're on? We were just talking about you.
What's up? I'm gonna give him a shout out right now while he's here. Again,
one of my students was hearing you while we were doing a lesson.
Yeah.
And the mama subscribed. She said, I've never heard anything like this in my life. This guy is fun. They were laughing and enjoying it.
Yeah, we live here in Alabama, bro, and a lot of the people here, when Alabama Crimson Tide football comes on, they'll put on their TV and they'll turn the volume all the way down, and they'll turn on the radio station that has a guy named Eli Gold that does commentary. Because the commentary on TV has so many commercials, it's bullshit most of the time. So we found a while ago that we could put your commentary on and turn the Tennis Channel or ESPN or the other networks down, and we could leave yours on because the commentary is so bad. So we were at the tennis court today. We watched the first set on our own and
second set, and we put you on Bluetooth with our speaker.
Yeah. So we went out to the courts and we brought our Bluetooth speaker out, and our first student came out with her mother, Alina Day, Mary Day. I hope you guys are well. And we put the Bluetooth speaker on. So within, they were still warming up. They were doing mini tennis, still warming up. You know, not even backed up to the baseline yet to get started. And the mom's on there like, who is this? He's like, awesome. It reminds me of watching football. And so we had a great time. And again, this entire tournament, because of the hours in France is like 6 hours ahead. So many of these matches were in the morning and we're on the courts in the afternoon. A lot of your commentary was just absolutely imperative to get us through the tournament. So much love to you, man. And we know you have passion for what you do.
What do you put on your hair? I'm just curious because it stays up there perfectly.
We know you have passion for what you do. You can feel the genuineness of it.
Definitely, but I was mad though because he was like, I want to see 5 sets. I'm like, no, I don't want to see 5 sets. I just want it to be done in 3.
Yeah, right.
No 5 sets. Alex Villar said, who do you think will win win another?
Money.
I already told him thank you.
Oh yeah.
Alex Villar asked, who's gonna win a slam? Kenin or Serena? Who's going to win another slam?
Kenin will win it.
You think so?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Kenin and Swiatek had never played prior to this match. Again, Kenin's match was very, very, very put you to sleepish. I don't think there's any such thing as an easy draw. But Kenin's draw was very put you to sleepish.
Really?
Do I need to repeat?
Kvitova, I thought, wasn't too sleepish.
Do I need to read this again?
I mean, she threw her racket a lot. She yelled at her dad a lot. She yelled at ball boys a lot.
She played Samsonova, Bogdan,
I'm talking about
Dara, Farrow, Collins.
Farrow had a chance against her.
But what I'm saying is it wasn't a very line.
You don't like her, that's why. I don't like her either.
She's snooty.
She has no personality.
I don't get it.
My dad calls her Moonface.
Moonface? What is it, like a half moon? How does he call her Moonface?
The whole Moonface, babe.
Oh, she has like some things?
Moonface is what he called her.
I can't talk about females.
He said Moonface. I was like,
it'll
what?
be bad karma. All right.
Serena Roger done. It sucks. Yeah, it does suck. Wildlife. I want them to win another one.
Swiatek will be number 17 in the world now. Quite a jump, right?
Yeah.
Quite a jump. Her first win ever on tour is a major.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big time stuff, right?
Yep.
Biggest prize money, obviously ever, 1.6 million. I think that her prize money would be.
She doubled.
Yeah.
You know where she was at 1 million, but she doubled it now to 2.
Does Swiatek end up with the likes of Ivanovic, Wozniacki, or Ostapenko, one and done? Does she just win one and she's done?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
But we've had random, you know, Osaka's been the most consistent because she's won 3, right? Kenin won 1, we had Andreescu won 1, Swiatek won 1, Halep won 1 last year. Who else won? Help me out here.
Last year?
Didn't Halep win Wimbledon last year against Serena?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did she win the French?
No. Barty was 1.
Barty, yeah.
So we've had different women win, unlike the guys.
And that'll happen once the big 3 go.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Ivanovic won 1, not 2. She won 1 slam.
She won one
She
French
won the
and
French
that's it.
Open and her career went.
One French and that's a wrap.
It's like the curse, and I hope the curse doesn't happen. You had Eva Maioli that beat Hingis. Hingis never won the French Open. Could have won the French Open. Won 1 and Ostapenko won 1, hasn't won 1 since.
Wozniacki.
I'm talking about the French Open.
There's a lot of players that have won 1 French Open and that's it. Go back in the history books. Look at the men's and the women's side.
Yeah.
Didn't Schiavone win 1 French and that's it?
That's it, yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
The French Open brings out the random player a lot of times, and it's happened a lot over the years.
Yeah.
All right, am I missing anything, Carlo?
Christina.
Mladenovic won doubles.
Mladenovic and Babos win,
yeah.
so they got their, what they should have won because they didn't let him play at the U.S. Open.
Yes, Siegemund gave her the double ball bounce that she didn't admit to, and she made up for that with doubles prize money. By the way, the Australian Dylan Alcott wins back-to-back French Opens in quad wheelchair tennis. Now, the quad wheelchair tennis is absolutely amazing to watch. I can't, if you can go to YouTube videos or anything and watch these guys play. Now, the rules are a little bit different. They get a double ball bounce and some other things, but these guys and girls put it out there. But Dylan Alcott wins back-to-back French Opens in men's quad wheelchair. He could not defend his Wimbledon title from last year because they did not play Wimbledon because Wimbledon had the insurance money to get him through this year.
Okay, and then thank you, Alex Kriar, Andreas Miles, and Kevin Krawietz from Germany defend their title again. So, good for them.
All right.
Wheelchair tennis is insane. I have no idea how they do it. I have no idea. I mean, the arm strength they have, Agree, Banache, is incredible. And incredible for those guys to still be playing. What's next?
All right. So, and look, in ending, by the way, much apologies for this whole mess that you're looking at. Again, if you haven't kind of followed this channel for a little while, we had the house destroyed. Well, not, I guess destroyed. I think that's the wrong word. But the house was became unlivable after a hurricane came through. So construction on the house has started. So we're kind of doing this at night in between that. But hopefully very soon we will be back to being here for real. So please excuse the mess. But at the end of any major, a big thanks to all of you guys.
Who's the WTA Player of the Year? Alex Kriar asked. I think Kenin would have to be because she made 2 finals.
I'm going to give it to Swiatek.
You can't give it to Swiatek.
You think Kenin deserves it?
Kenin won the Australian, and then she reached the finals. You have to go by that. You can't go by one slam because then you say Osaka.
But how can you give Player of the Year, especially a lady,
the most
to
WTA Player of the Year?
Doesn't Player of the Year involve any type of sportsmanship?
No, ESPN does men and women's. They have a different section.
What I'm asking you, Carla, is if you award sportswoman or sportsman of the year, does it not include stuff that's on and off the court?
Then why Serena has won it many times?
Did Serena Williams win Sportswoman of the Year when she was about to jam the ball down someone's throat playing Kim Clijsters? Look, I don't believe you can be the WTA player or the ATP player of the year when you're snatching towels out of the ball boy's hands. I'm sorry, but Kenin is a fine player. And you know, whether she plays for Russia where she was born or whether she plays in the U.S. where she flies her flag or whatever reason that is, I don't care. I catch enough grief for that. But if you are as snooty as a human being, let me put it this way. I was a ball boy multiple times in my life.
They don't include outside tennis stuff for the players.
Okay, well, this is inside tennis. Okay,
they're talking about WTA.
Okay, let me put something into perspective again. When you're on the court as a ball boy or a ball girl, you're not getting paid. You're there because it's a very special thing for you to do. You're like, please, yes, I would love to do it. I'll be on the court with all these great pros, and I can't wait to do so. And you go out on the court, and now I have seen this not once, not twice, not 3 times, but countless times from Sofia Kenin. Countless. Now, if you go out on the court and you're a ball boy or a ball girl, young lady or young man respectively, and it's your dream to be out there and to hand someone the towel or someone a ball and to get a picture taken with them, and you're so happy to do so, and you go out there to a Sofia Kenin match, and you're sitting over there in the corner, and you're doing your best, and you're running around, and all of a sudden Sofia Kenin wants her towel, and you walk up there, and you're some young child that their mind is like a tabula rasa, like this blank slate that's just soaking up things of positive energy or negative energy and how you will proceed in life. And you go up to this person, and here's your towel, and I'm so amazed to bring it to you. This little child is probably thinking, here's your towel, I'm so happy, I'm nervous because you're so great to me. And all of a sudden, this Sofia Kenin comes up and goes, give me that towel, snatch, slams the ball on the ground. Get out of here, man, who needs it? WTA of the year, kiss my ass. Bring that snooty shit somewhere else. Get rid of your dad in the box. That should be Jack in the box, like Patrick Mortagaloo in the box, and get lost. Can't snatch the towel out of a young kid's hand. If that was my kid, and you snatched the towel out of my kid, I would have done a Superfly Jimmy Snuka off the damn top balcony and be like, boom! Get back! Take my freaking shorts, smack, smack, smack! Hit it with my damn shoe like a sandal. Smack, smack, smack! Get back! Snatch the towel out of my kid's hand, give you a can of whip ass like some Popeye spinach up in this piece. Get out of here. Shit. Snatching towels out of kids' hands. Talking about being the WTA Tennis Player of the Year. Get lost! Snatch on. Give you something else you can snatch on. Shit. WTA of the Year.
Get Justin a towel part.
Snatching towels. Give me that towel!
Yeah, Alex said I should have asked that question. Yikes! Didn't see this coming.
No. Can you imagine that?
Well, I said, oh boy, Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying. I mean, think about it. If you had, look, B-Dog would say children's. Look, I have 5 children, and I can promise you, if one of my kids was a ball boy or a ball girl, and proceeded out on the court to give Sofia Kenin her towel, oh, I'm so happy to be there. Like my daughter Liliana, if she was a ball girl, she would be so happy, like, oh, here's your towel, snatch! I'd be like, what? Freaking drama unfolding.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sportswoman of the Year.
What about for men? Michael Walker said Novak was being mean today to a ball person. What about ATP Guy of the Year? Who does that go to?
Is it Jannik Sinner, maybe?
What?
Because he...
They didn't say, like, new person or comeback. They're talking about tennis, what they did in tennis.
This year? Dominic Thiem, maybe?
You don't think Novak would win that prize?
Oh, I mean, he's won it probably 17 times before. I mean, doesn't there have to be something new? I mean, don't you get tired of the same old
Well,
saying?
you would say first Grand Slam of the year, so you give it to Thiem. Well, Thiem made it to the U.S., won the U.S. Open, and he made it to Australian Open final. So could be because Novak won the Australian and made it to the French Open final.
Again.
So I agree with you.
You can't.
I forgot about that.
You can't give a sportsmanship or sports person of the year award to someone that inadvertently hits someone in the throat. You can't give it to someone that snatches the towel out of innocent girls and boys' hands. You can't, because that's just shit. You have to give it to someone that at least exemplifies.
It says, I'm very incredible, I play very good today, Novak, congrats to your team, and but I just play incredible.
Play very good today. We play very good today. I play very, very well, and my uncle Tony and everybody else did very well too. But you can't give a year-end award to someone that's a snoop or someone that is constantly calling timeouts and muscle rubs and throat hacks. You can't.
Oh my God,
you can't. You have to give it to an overall sportsman, an overall steward of the game, someone that has been overall okay all the way through. And I think Dominic Thiem, by the way, last year got a little borderline with Serena Williams. Like, she's a drama queen in the post-conference interviews. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. So you have to be careful.
You should have been careful because Matt Serena would beat his ass now with one thigh. Pow!
Get some! but okay, so let's
actually her butt. She just got to go boom!
So let's prepare for the question a little bit better. If you could name one female player right now of the year that was, no matter, if they won anything or not, who was the most elegant, the most prosperous female player on tour this year? Muguruza, maybe?
I'm sorry, I'm going to be the bad guy. I think you have to give it to Kenin. I'm very sorry. Osaka would be number 2 on my list just because she won the US Open. She won Cincy. She had the whole movement thing. So one of the two would have to win it.
Okay, and on the men's side, who do you give it to?
Novak. He's number 1. Won the Australian. He tried to bring tennis back, and they bashed him for it, and they fucked him at the U.S. Open.
I agree with it.
You have to give it to him. I'm sorry.
But okay, so I think
Osaka lost Cincy because she withdrew.
I think you're clouding your thoughts here. I think you're answering the question: who is the most dominant player of the year, and not.
But this doesn't have to do with character. You're thinking ESPY awards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who's the ESPY? Who is the most complete? The most complete, whether it's bad attitude. Who is the most complete?
You would still have to give it to Novak.
Okay.
Still have to. It's not his fault what happened. In the men's side,
and none of the muscle rubs and everything else is questionable.
One muscle rub?
I'm just saying.
Muscle rub.
Look, I'm the fan. I'm being honest. I'm being a realist. Are you sure that he has exemplified the best sportsmanship on the court the entire year? Are you sure? Because I disagree.
Well, he's fought for the other players. Has he not?
Yes.
You have to. A guy that's on the freaking phone for 2 hours with the governor of New York trying to get a player to play. Absolutely, he should win that award.
Now, on the flip side of that, a lot of people from New York that watch this show has messaged us privately indicating that if the governor of New York or the mayor of New York City takes time out of the day to worry about a tennis tournament, then what the hell is the governor of New York really up to with all these people everywhere? That's another thing.
We can say the same shit about the president and all the other bullshit.
What I'm saying, we have heard that. We heard that. Great for him, but at the same time, what the hell is the mayor doing if tennis is on his mind? And
look, if Novak would have fought for Fernando Verdasco, he probably would have played.
Agreed.
Just saying.
Okay, well let's rewind it a minute and forget about domination.
I'm from New York, Oliver.
Brooklyn.
From New York. So.
Let's go, Brooklyn, make some noise. But okay, which female on tour has exemplified the best overall package of the year? Because that's where I was going. Yes, Novak has been the most dominant.
Osaka, probably, to me.
Okay, she with her beliefs and everything
Osaka,
else.
Yeah.
What about on the men's side?
Novak. There's no one.
The best sportsmanship?
Novak.
Okay, I'm shocked that you said that. Nadal would have won that.
Yeah, but Nadal has not been in the. He really hasn't to French Open.
But sportsmanship, even though it was an accidental.
Yes, I love what he said in his interview. Nadal said, there are more important things than tennis right now. We are lucky that we're even playing, that we held the U.S. Open was held, the French was held. Lucky for NBA players playing, football players. But right now in life, people are struggling with the economy and this whole virus thing, so that's more important.
I agree.
So he was well said.
Again, when there's any hint of snatching a towel out of a ball girl's or ball boy's hand or stolen a racket across the court, you're out on my list of sportsmanship.
Yeah, Osaka's boyfriend flipping was that look, but it's not.
Middle finger, hey, this is what I'm here for.
When you go out with a racket.
It goes to show you that Carla's absolutely naive when it comes to picking someone for an award for sportsmanship. Because again,
what does that have to do with her boyfriend?
I'm a Novak.
What about a wife that the husband kills somebody. She didn't know. She's innocent. She did everything right. What is that her problem? That's not her problem.
How in the righteous mind does killing someone have to do with shooting a bird at someone on the damn center court of Arthur Ashe Stadium?
It's not her fault.
So now shooting a bird is the same as killing someone?
I'm just giving you an example.
Holy cow. That was the most worst example I've ever heard in my life.
I'll give you an example. It's not her fault.
Anyway.
I think Kenin deserves it first, but we just say. Whatever.
Look, I think sportsmanship awards for sportswomen, you look at someone like Muguruza.
What has Muguruza done?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Nothing.
So why look at her? You better go off giving it to Serena because she's a mom.
Man. Okay. Anyway. All right. We ready to roll?
Yeah, ready.
All right. Real quickly in ending, thanks so much to all of you. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Without you, it's not possible. And we'll see you guys soon. Again, even though the tournaments are done, we will continue to be here for whatever reasons.
I don't know when we're going to do a show, but thank you. I had a list of all of you guys here.
You're going to read it? Okay, yeah. She's going to read a list of thank yous. We will continue to do shows. We won't do one every day. We try to do them every other day or every 3 days, and we will do that. Again, this house is under construction. We have to go back somewhere else to sleep and go take care of the kids. But please remember that when our house gets set back up in the room that we have, we're going to leave a wall empty. So if you want to send your country's flags or some souvenir or whatever, we'll put it on the wall behind us and we'll start pinning stuff up. But I think that's what we decided to do, right?
Right.
All right, here's the list of thank yous.
All right, thank you, Stefan, Rahesh, Michael Walker, Y Life, Wayne Chia, Big Dog, Gene Schwartz, Ethan, Hitchhiker, Alex Guyard, V Savage, Sammy Mitchell, Leandro Franza, Sister Queen, Jack Nolte, Jordan, Layla C, Count Dredd, Belua Carter, my dad, your dad, Tennis Paris Brothers, Lena Walgren, Rami Elaine, Mitrovic, Slaughter Godan, Trump Mary, This Guy 1000, Tomas, Mikhailo Markovic, FB Lota, Flora Moore, Anastasia, Jean Novus, Carmen, I should know this name because we always go back with Nolte,
Jack Nolte.
Olabimpe Oliviran, Dushan Jamakanin, Isa Yumao, Milas Novanovic, Savage, V Savage, I think I already said you, Savage King, Nomini, Weir Kanun. What's up with these names, guys? Why can't it just be Jack Smith? Easy. Hirsch George, Alex J, David Davidovich, Lucifer 666.
Oh, that's a crazy name. We love you, but we love you, bro. We love you.
Alex J, Team Groves, Milan Kostic, and Nemanja.
All right, reiterating.
And leave it to Bieber.
That's a good name. reiterating Dushan Dramakanin as a thank you because he helped us with the fantasy team numbers and tallies. Again, the fantasy team winners are Viruselis in Germany. We have already sent him $20 US. And the other winner, well, Carla won with Viruselis, but she's not going to take her own prize. The other winner is Team Groves. So Team Groves out there, if you want the $20 US, or if you want 2 sets of strings from us, or if you want a shirt from us, let me know. Also, big, huge thank you to Cam Williams as always. He may not get it, but again, we are on the court teaching so often, every day, and a lot of times all day long during these majors. And just so he knows that his commentary is better than any alternative that we have here, including the cable bill that we pay. So thank you to him. Milmini, Wikaroon, she is one of the only females out there besides Sister the Queen, and also Lena and Flora Moore that will call me out and tell me to chill when they need to. So much respect to you guys for
Sydney stuff.
Yeah, Sinis is another one. But thank you to all the young ladies in here that are not scared to say, hey, bro, you need to chill, go Carla, and just shut up. So I really appreciate that. And again, we will be back doing shows within the next day or two. It's just a matter.
Michael Walker says hopefully in Paris indoors.
Yeah, we'll do something with the ATP finals. I don't know
show
how.
Tomorrow? No show.
I mean, it's. I'm not saying.
Probably not. No, we have lessons tomorrow till very, very late. So
yeah, when it's not a major, we always promise or try to vow to do a show every day during majors.
Ying Hao, I forgot you.
Ying Hao, yeah, and Lexco.
I did say Lexco. Child or someone else.
But when a major's not going on, we try to at least promise that we'll do a show every 3 days. You know, that seems about fitting. Mm-hmm. So within 3 days, we'll be here. And then sometimes at the spur of moment, we'll get home and we'll be like, hey, you just want to, you know, and we might do that. Again, next year the goal is to be better and to have better equipment. But anyway, the budget's not very deep, and we have 5 children, so we do the best that we can. So thanks very much to all of you, and we'll see you within 3 days. Right?
We'll see.
All right?
All right. Vienna
Let's
Paris
go.
Masters are coming up. All right.
Come
Well,
on.
I'll look him up.
Let's go. All right. Adios.
I reckon Sasha should challenge a puppy. Bye-bye.